Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to White Sands Self-Care Community. I have with me today this beautiful and very strong lady that I have had the privilege of meeting. Delia Gould is the author of You Can Be Happy Again, Bounce Back from Infidelity, Betrayal, and Loss. And she is the shining example of how to turn a bad situation into something good, because she is on a mission to help over 10,000 women know that they can be happy again. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Delia. And Delia, maybe you can share a little bit of your story and experience and how you were able to turn this around.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited to be here today. Yes, as you said, my name is Delia Gould, and I have been through a very dark moment in my life, as I would imagine, and a lot of our listeners would have suffered some tragedy or some trauma or something at some point in their lives. For me, it was when my husband had an affair with my best friend. And we were married for over 10 years. And we had our own business, we had our own house. We had two wonderful boys, and we were very happy together. We even had date nights once per week, and that day was Tuesday. Every Tuesday evenings after work, we had set aside that special time for us to go somewhere, whether to the beach, whether to a restaurant, to have some dinner, do something together, go to the gardens and so on. So we had a very wonderful life together. Life was good until I noticed that a change in the dynamics between my husband and my best friend. I noticed that they were getting very close. And more than 3 years later, he actually confessed about the affair. And as you could imagine, I felt like my life was falling apart. Because as I said, we were together for so long. We really worked as a team. We worked together to build ourselves and make a good life for ourselves. And now, having this happening, this affair. And I remember that I was so depressed. Sometimes I would just lie in bed and just cry my eyes out. And at times I would feel like I have no energy to do anything. So I did go through a period of depression. And I know some of you might be in that period of depression or might have gone through it before. And as you would know, it's not an easy place. It's a very dark place. And a lot of people don't make it out of that. So after going through that, I did find happiness again. And this is what I talk about in my book. You Can Be Happy Again, Bouncing Back After Infidelity, Betrayal, and Loss. It is available on Amazon, and it reached #1 for new releases in 2 categories: relationship and biography. And in this book, I do have a number of tips about how I was able to find happiness again, and how you can find your happiness again. I have a number of tips in here as well as to how to spot the signs of infidelity. How do you know if your partner is really cheating on you? I think I have about 12 different ways in which you can know what if your partner or your spouse is cheating on you. So I have taken this bad and experience, and I have turned it around into something good, because now I am on a mission to help 10,000 and more women find happiness again. That's my mission. Because while I was going through my trauma, I remember for over 3.5 years, I suffered all alone. I did not even tell my mother what I was going through. I kept everything in. And I know that there are women out there who are suffering in silence. And I'm very passionate to help as many women as I can to find happiness again, to give them hope and let them know that things might not be going good now, but it's not the end of the world. If your husband or your partner leaves you, it's not the end of the world. You can be happy again.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of, like, you hit the nail on the head there, is because a lot of people, I think, suffer in silence, whether it's that they're embarrassed that it's happening or they're blaming themselves. Maybe they're in a situation where the spouse is making them feel like this was all they're doing. They have done no wrong. And to make matters worse, this was your best friend that
Yes.
betrayed you. And normally, most of us women, we have a best friend that we confide in, or we feel we can confide in and talk to, but then you didn't even have that. And I should mention, Delia comes from the beautiful islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but she is now residing in the UK. For her journey took her across the pond, and she left her home, but she is still happy. So there is definitely hope. And I'm glad you were brave enough, because it takes a lot to share that story and to share your experiences with people.
Yeah, and in this book, I wanted it to be authentic. So I shared everything in this book, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's all in there. And I would like women, when they read my book, that they would try and learn from my mistakes. They would try and use what they have learned to make better decisions in their lives. That is one of the things that I would really like to happen. So, and I let's go back to my best friend. Yeah, it was really hard, because that was like a double whammy. I didn't just lose my husband, I also lost my best friend. And that is why it was so traumatic, and it was so hard for me. But I was able to find happiness again.
Yeah. And you and I we discuss we discuss all this in further detail on Mindful Mondays with Laura Cross. So when you want more detail, you definitely want to tune in on August 28th, because that is Delia's episode of Rediscovering Your Joy. Because as you can see from this beautiful lady, she is very much happy again. And I'm glad that she was able to do that. But yeah, I mean, and you still have a best friend now. Right. It's not like
I
just
do.
because a best friend betrayed you doesn't mean you're not ever going to have another one. I think a lot of people just.
Exactly. There are still some good people out there. So even if somebody betrayed you or do something, to hurt you, it's not like everybody is gonna do that. And I was quite fortunate to find another best friend who has been there for me through thick and thin, and I can see that she's a true friend. She is a true friend.
Yeah. And that's important too, to have the right people around you to
Yeah,
support you.
because that's true, because you do need to talk about these things sometimes. It's very good to talk things out. It helps. And even in writing my book, You Can Be Happy Again, Bouncing Back After Infidelity, Betrayal, and Loss, it was quite therapeutic for me, because as I was writing, I was getting everything out. It was like I'm emptying myself. I was just getting everything out. And I remember at some points, more than one occasion, I had to like leave the laptop, or put down the pen and paper, because as I wrote about certain things that happened, it brought back memories to my mind, and I just had to like set it aside. But I would go back again when, I think that I've regained my composure, and I'm able to go on. And I am really happy that I stuck with the process, and so that I was able to complete my book so that it can be of benefit to women out there who are suffering in silence, who you don't know what to do, because sometimes when you're going through these issues, it's like you do not know what to do next. You're quite unsure. And because of all the depression and everything else, it's like, you don't know what to do. So this is why I've given you a number of tips as to things that you can do to find happiness again. And one of the things that I always say is, as wives and mothers, we focus more on getting the chores done, taking care of the husband, taking care of the children, and we don't spend any time for myself. And one of the tips that I share in my book is that we need to take care of ourselves. We need time for ourselves. We need to do things that makes us happy. If we do not take care of ourselves, we will not be in a position to take care of others properly. So I think that's one of the very important things that we really need to do.
Yeah, 100%. And you remind me of another lady I work with from the UK too, where she would say that we're all stress buckets and you need to dump that stress bucket, which
I know.
is in a sense what you did, when you helped you write that book, because stress is a number one kind of killer, the root of most people's disease, pains, illnesses. It creates a lot of havoc if you don't find a way to relieve that stress. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy you decided to write that. And it is a very authentic book. I literally I felt like I could feel the pain or what that, was when you're reading that. And
some readers have said that when they were reading my book, they felt as though they were right there with me, going through what I was going through.
you paint a very good, clear picture. You can see it, you can feel it. And yeah, I'm so happy that you've decided to turn that, like you said, into something good. And I
Yes.
think you have a beautiful mission to help a lot of ladies out there. I know we will be putting the link to your website, which is deliagould.com, but we will put it in the comments and you will be able to order her book from there. But what other ways are you, because I believe you have other ways, or you work with ladies if they have questions or they want to contact you?
Oh, yes. Well, I am not just thinking about, the book itself. I would also like to get in contact with ladies. If you are here and you're listening to us now and you feel as though you need some help, you need a bit of support because you feel you can't make it on your own. And I should say, sometimes it's very good to talk to somebody who has gone through the same problem as you, because they would be able to identify and relate to what you are going through at the moment. It might not be the exact situation, but it's good to talk to someone who has been through the same thing as you are going through. And you can contact me on my email address. You can be happy again, figure2@gmail.com. If you contact me there, I can give you my number, and then we can get in touch with each other. And I'm available to talk to any woman out there, who feel like they just need somebody to talk to, because that's my mission. I want to help, and I want to make women's life happier and better.
Absolutely. And as you can see, she's very passionate about it, very easy to talk to. So we will put the email as well in the comments so that everyone knows how to contact you and get your book. Go ahead. You have something else to add.
Yes, I was just about to say, I am a professional accountant. That's my profession. And as an accountant, you have to be confidential, you know. So I don't want you to think that, you can't call me. You can call me and you can talk to me and be assured that it's not going to go anywhere. My aim is help help you, on your journey to find happiness again and give you hope. There is hope. Please don't think that, it's the end of the world. There is hope. Things can get better. Things will get better, and you can be happy again. Laura, if you can just share with them the other interview that we did,
Yes,
where they can get, where they would be
absolutely.
available.
Absolutely. And I also want to add, of course, obviously you want to connect with Delia. There's no judgment there. So you don't have to worry about
No.
being judged. It's a safe space to
Yes.
give you someone to talk to in
Mhm.
confidence that's not going to go anywhere.
Yes.
But we had a great time. We go into a lot more detail, and it'll have the QR code for her book, but we go into more detail about her lessons learned, the importance of
Yes.
forgiveness, the signs, you name it. We go into more detail in her episode called Rediscover Your Joy. It will be on the Mindful Mondays with Laura Cross Facebook page, the YouTube channel on August 28th. It goes live at 1 p.m. Central, or you can also catch it on E360 TV on the Achieve TV network. It's the Voyage to Vitality channel, but Monday at 1 p.m. Central on August 20th, and it'll be available for replay. So if you're not there at 1 p.m., it's okay. You can dial it up. And if you want to make sure you don't miss it, you can also go to my YouTube channel at Mindful Mondays with Laura Cross, click subscribe, turn on those notifications, and you will get to hear more of the story and Delia's mission of helping 10,000 or more women and many other people that have experiences to share, because it's all about being mindful, self-care, and taking
Yes.
care of you. Because we
Yes.
love taking care of others, but like she said, we cannot take care of others unless we take care of ourselves first.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
so I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and we will see you next week. And I will put all of that contact information in the comments. So make sure that you connect with Delia if that resonates with you. You definitely want to reach out with her. Thank you, Delia.
Thank
Delia.
you so
Ooh,
much for
losing my
having me,
voice now.
Laura.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.